This machine will have eyes, ears, and a voice.
This is PVP Television News. Today is the 29th of June 2011. A historic occasion is taking place here at the livestock market at Welshpool. Powys County Council are holding a special meeting to discuss a notice of motion from County Councillor D.R. Jones and County Councillor R.G.Brown. Over 60 county councillors all over Powys are expected to attend this important meeting, which is being relayed to the general public who are gathering outside. They will be able to watch the proceedings inside the meeting. Over 2,000 people are expected here today. Today's meeting will be chaired by County Councillor Barry Thomas, who is the chairman of Powys County Council.
3.1, notice of motion by County Councillor D.R. Jones and seconded by County Councillor R.G.Brown. Councillor Jones.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, I little thought when I put this motion in for debate at I think what I then described as the next County Council, quite what the result of that would be. I am truly amazed at the number of people that are here today. I am equally pleasantly surprised at the number of supportive letters and emails that I've received. Lots of emails and lots of letters have come to me which have suggested points that I might want to bring up. They're all very useful, but I'm restricted to 10 minutes and TAN 8 is a big document, so I am not able to do anything like justice to those comments and helps and hints that I've received. But I will just read out to you one email, or a part of one email that I received. And it is an EU directive on electricity from renewable sources. And that says it must be in proportion to the objective to be attained. It must be in proportion to the objective to be attained. This is worth repeating, because right through the whole of TAN 8 and the business of wind turbines, there is a huge amount of pain that could be suffered by the people of Mid Wales for very little gain in terms of the electricity produced. A lot of the policy has been based around 30% efficiency from wind turbines and wind farms. I understand that the highest rated wind farm in Mid Wales at the moment produces 18% efficiency. That is nothing like 30%. So that is where we're at. And now I turn to TAN 8, which on Friday will be 6 years old. July 2005. So it will be 6 years old, and I think it is desperately in need of review by now, because the world has moved on a long way since then. So has Wales, so has energy production, so has the relative merits of economic development within different countries of the world. But looking specifically at TAN 8, it says that right at the beginning, all decisions relating to renewable energy in Wales must take account of the Assembly's policy. So everything that happens will come back to TAN 8, because that is the Assembly's policy. And that is the one that we must address ourselves to today. Because if TAN 8 is held to, If wind farms are built, there will have to be a hub to collect the electricity together and transmission lines to get that power out. It matters not whether it is produced by hydroelectric schemes or whatever. It would mean the industrialisation of rural Mid Wales. And that, I think, is a very serious concern to us all. 10 years ago, rural Mid Wales suffered the devastation of foot and mouth disease. It was very serious. The British government gave £2 million to Powys County Council to distribute in hardship rate relief because of the devastation it had, the lack of tourists, the closure of footpaths and everything else. The Welsh Assembly Government topped that up with a further grant of 740,000 because they recognised the devastation caused to this area by the sudden ending of tourism for months on end. People come to Mid Wales at the moment because it is different. They come here not to see pylons, not to see power hubs. They come here for the peace and gentleness of the area. They come here for Mwynder Maldwyn. That is what attracts them. And we have to answer, we will have to answer to people in the future when they say, this is allowed to go without any word from us. What did you do when TAN 8 was up for discussion? And I think it is important that as a council, Powys County Council makes its stance very clear. Every time I've been to County Hall, I drive through Garthmill and there is a sign on the side of the road that says there, hubs and pylons, who is to blame? Welsh Assembly Government and Powys County Council. Well, I thought, I'm not to blame, and that is one of the reasons why I've brought this motion in front of the County Council today, because I think it is very important that Powys County Council states clearly and unequivocally where we stand. We need to be saying to the Assembly, TAN 8, as I say, is 6 years old. It needs to be reviewed. That is what I'm hoping will be the outcome of today, and that is what my motion seeks to do. When you look through TAN 8, somewhere along the line in there it says, local planning authorities should be aware that other developments could sterilise land for wind farm proposals and bear this in mind during policy formulation and decision making. That land belongs to people. It is up to them to submit a planning application, to do what is best for their business, not to be told that land would be sterilised if we allowed you to do what you wanted of it. That is totally unacceptable. Further, during the TAN 8, when talking about hydropower, it says there should be cost-effective access to the electricity network. Nowhere does it say that about wind farms. If it has to be cost-effective for hydroelectric, I would suggest it has to be cost-effective for wind turbines and wind farms. I come back to this recurring point about the cost-benefit analysis of wind farms. They also say in there that onshore wind farms, biomass, etc., are already commercially competitive with the support of the renewable obligation. I'm not sure how much more we can afford these affordable things with the level of subsidy that we're asking to put into them. It also says, in the longer term, the Severn Barrage, with its tremendous renewable energy potential, could also be of significant interest. I believe that went by the wayside. But it makes no account of the fact that the present UK government has suggested that Wilva on Anglesey be the site, or the possible site, of a new nuclear power station. That will overwhelm and completely change the space of carbon neutral generation in Wales. And that station would work 24/7, whether the wind blows or not. Another important point. It should be noted, I quote from TAN 6, it should be noted, however, that laying high voltage cables underground is usually 6 to 20 times more expensive than pole mounted systems and would be unlikely to be justified for only limited lengths. And another point, there is currently very restricted capacity for further wind power developments in North and Mid Wales in the SB Manweb network. And the reinforcement of that network through the construction of new high voltage distribution and transmission lines is vital to the realisation of any significant additional generation capacity. The Assembly Government strongly supports the principle of this scheme. These are the reasons, Chairman, why I want TAN 8 to be reviewed. I could talk for an hour about why, but I've mentioned some of the salient points where TAN 8 is at the heart of policy for Wales. As I said in the beginning, everything must comply with that, and so we are looking, I believe, at asking the Assembly Government to review TAN 8, and I hope very much that Powys County Council today will show support and solidarity with the thousands who are outside this room, to all the lorries that have gone past on the roundabout, tooting in support, that we show our solidarity with them and we add our voice to those calling on the Welsh Assembly Government to review TAN 8 as a matter of urgency. Thank you, Chairman.
It's obvious that people in here that can't speak
Part 2 of this news programme will cover the motion from County Councillor R.G.Brown.
This machine will have eyes, ears, and a voice.